This body is full of lapdogs, doing exactly what the president wants, when he wants it, not pushing back. It is sad. We need D.C. statehood. There are people, yes, we need D.C. statehood. We need to put this behind us. We need to stop, it's wild to me that we're here debating with people from the Republican Party, a party that's supposed to be about states' rights and local rule and people, the consent of the governed. And it's just grand to sit here with other members who have higher murder rates than Washington, D.C., but not invite the president to occupy their own state with the military. And so we say free D.C., and we'll continue to fight for the people of Washington, D.C., who deserve for their home to be a state, who deserve for their local officials that they voted for, their city council, their members, to make decisions about how to make sure that this is a safer place. And I gotta say, when we talk about crime, when we talk about violence, gun violence has been going down in this country the last 3 years. We still have a lot of work to do, but you guys talk about it and nothing happens. We put forth solutions and pass bills like the Safer Communities Act, and violence goes down in this country. That's the difference between us. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Anybody seek recognition? Ms. Greene.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This should go beyond political boundaries. And I can't understand how this becomes a fight about my Democrat colleagues' Trump derangement syndrome and politicizing Washington, D.C. This should be about victims of crime. And this should be the fact that we should have a justice system that holds people accountable for the crimes they commit against innocent people. And right now we're seeing on the news an innocent woman that came from Ukraine. This woman felt safer coming from a war in Ukraine. She thought she was coming to America to be safe, and she was murdered on a train in cold blood, murdered. And we're seeing crimes like this day after day, night after night, and it goes on and on and on. And anybody wants to argue about the National Guard? What, you people want the National Guard coming in and handing out water bottles when there's some sort of natural disaster? Is that just what the National Guard is supposed to be for? Well, I'm going to tell you what's up. The National Guard is also here to protect and keep our streets and our country safe. They aren't meant to be sent over to foreign wars to go die in some foreign country. The National Guard should be used for Americans to be safe, businesses to be able to prosper, people to be able to walk with their families down the street. And I'm going to tell you something, people of Washington, D.C. in this room, Congress has jurisdiction over the District of Columbia. That's the reality. Democrats, you may not like that, but that is the reality. The bills that are being passed here and being in a public setting, being discussed and debated and being voted on are for your safety. Because what's happened, and you know it because you live here, you are living in a city filled with crime, and we have witnessed it as members of Congress. We've lived in it. A Democrat congressman just a few years ago got carjacked. We've had interns murdered on Washington, D.C. streets. And you know it because in your communities, you know people and you witness it. There's drive-by shootings, there's drug deals, and the youths of this community are being done wrong. Absolutely being done wrong. And so I'm telling you right now, I can tell you I'm from Georgia. Yes, that is where I am from. However, I come to work in Washington, D.C., and I live here when I am here for work, and I happily go back home when I am not here for work. But I will tell you, there is a commitment by Republicans on this committee to stand up against crime and do what is right for the American people. And I 100%, and so do my colleagues, 100% support the use of the National Guard to clean up the crime and stop the criminals from murdering and raping and stealing and making cities unsafe. And that's the reality of where we are today. And so this debate can continue back and forth, but it is ridiculous. Fighting for criminals is a losing argument. Fighting against crime will win every single time.